Hey there, hope everybody's doing good today. All right, we're going to do a quick review, a one take special on this 2022 F250 with a 7.3 liter Godzilla engine. I installed some Super Springs, Sumo springs on this truck, and I'll tell you whether I like them or not at the end. I'll show you what they look like and how easy it is to install. So here's the instructions. Here's the part numbers on a 2022 model. Let me see if I can get my hand behind there. The sun, there it is. You can see what the instructions look like. This is one side, and then the other side, they have it written out for you. Let me see. Lay it on the ground. That way you can kind of see. But it's very easy to do. You can see how it all goes together here. This is all what you need to do it. It's not rocket science. It takes about an hour to do. At least that's what it took me. So let's take a look at it. I jacked it up here. I've been driving this for a couple weeks since I put them on. Really like it. I pull this fifth wheel. The weight capacity of my truck's about 3,200 pounds. With the Sumo springs on, it squats about 1.25 inches. So it helped with the squat. It squat a little bit. Before that, it would squat about 1.5 inches. The pin weight, the cargo weight that the trailer transferred to the truck is about 1,600 pounds in the back of the bed. So a little bit past half of its capacity. So if that gives you any idea. But we'll go over here and take a look at them. Kind of see them here. The only problem I had with it, as you can see right there, I got that light shined on that. Let's see if I can keep it shined on it. I had to bend this bracket to get this to fit. I had to bend it over a little bit to make this fit. So it's an easy installation. It's like 8 bolts or something. But here's the actual springs themselves. It's 2 pieces. They're progressive rated. So that means that the more weight you put on there, the stiffer they get. So, okay, so first you put this plate on, this plate right here. It goes where your bump stops go. And then you mount this plate. Well, then you mount this to this plate. This spring to this plate. Just one little bolt in there. Maybe 1 or 2, I forget. The bottom's got 2 and the top's got 1, I think. Or vice versa, but that doesn't matter. Okay, and then you put this bracket right here. It mounts 4 screws, 2 here and 2 on the other end. And then you're done with the top. Easy breezy, right? No problem there. But on a 2022 model, like I said, over here, I had to bend that. This holds some type of electronics, I believe is what but it's some type of little box. I just bent that little bracket a little bit. It's harmless enough. But that's what I had to do to get it to fit proper. Now I'll crawl up underneath here and we'll see the bottom section. Okay, you can see where the 2 pieces meet up there. And they sit on top of each other. So the bottom, you have to put this U-bolt on. 1 bolt, 1 here, 1 on the other side. Same 1, 2, and then this bracket sits on top of your bump stop. That's not a bump stop, but bump stop landing spot. I don't know what it's called, but it's just called a bump stop landing spot. That's where your bump stop would hit before. So this goes around the bottom, 1 bolt, 1 nut here, 1 bolt, 1 on the other side. Then 1 here on this U-bolt, 1 on the other side. And you can see the bolt there to hold this in place. And it's all got Loctite on it. So hopefully it won't come loose. You might want to check them, after 500,000 miles after you drive. One thing I might say you might do is just watch your brake lines. Make sure you're not pinching any of those when you're putting them on. But the other side's the exact same way, other than that modular, that little frame I had to bend a little bit to get that in there. And you can see that up inside there to the right of the progressive springs, the Sumo springs. But anyhow, easy breezy install. No problem whatsoever. Like I said, it takes about an hour to do it. And they look fairly decent. They have discolored a little bit, but it doesn't matter. You can't see them when it's down. And they're supposed to be very, very durable. I've seen pictures on their website where people stab them with knives and stuff. So it's much better than a true airbag, because airbags can get punctured or get, over time, be worn through, go off-road, they can get punctured that way. But anyhow, these can take a lot of abuse. So there's the springs, easy breezy, right? Just crawl out from underneath here. We'll let the jack down and take a look and see what it looks like when they're down. Now, one thing it did do while I'm doing this is it raised my truck up about an inch, which that might be a nice cheap option if you put some levelers on the front of your truck and raise it up, and you don't like your truck the way it sits. Maybe you got the Carolina squat going or something, and you want to raise the back end up. This actually raises, on my particular truck, raised it up about an inch. So now the nice advantage to it is a cheap way of getting the back end raised up, and I can put those blocks up underneath there, and I still got about a 1 inch lean towards the front if I put a 2.5 inch lift on the front, so I can put bigger tires. But that's just my thought process, if you're following what I'm saying. Okay, so here's what it looks like now. It's closed on top of each other. The other side looks exactly the same. So that gives you an idea of what you got. And like I said, it's progressive. The more weight you put on there, the more firm it does, the firmer it is. Now, what I like about these is pulling the trailer, it keeps it from porpoising nearly as much, rides much better on the interstate, much better over potholes and speed bumps and stuff. You don't get that side to side you get with the regular bump stops that you get, because the bump stops don't engage until you're got a whole bunch of weight on there. So I really like these a lot better than the factory bump stops. They make the truck handle better, I believe, or at least it feels like it handles better. You don't get that as much roll when you're going around corners and turning and stuff. So far I really like these. I really like the way they tow. It seemed to stabilize the truck a lot when towing, and also make it feel more planted when you're driving down the road at regular speeds. Now, it does add a little bit of a stiffer ride, I would say, to the back of the truck, if you want to call it a stiffer ride, I guess. I guess I would describe it as kind of like a sports car type feel. Not a harsh ride, but a stiffer ride, if that makes any sense. So, like I said, I really like them. Very impressed with them. No problem whatsoever. So far, I probably got about 800 miles on them, maybe 1,000 miles on them. And I've towed for probably 200 miles with them. And so not a whole lot, but I don't think it takes a whole lot to be able to tell what I've told you so far. So, all right, let's go over here, take a look at the factory bump stop I took off, so you can kind of see what it looks like. All this was a factory bump stop is just almost like an emergency bump guard, just keeps you from bottoming out your frame in your axle. So there's that. And I wanted to show you this. This is a timber. I put this on there. And I didn't like the timbers at all. The timber was about a 1/2 inch from engaging all the time. So every little bump you went over. This is not progressive. This is really hard. So every bump you went over with the timber was bam, bam, bam. you would hit hard, and it was very jarring. So I took those off after about 2 weeks. I just couldn't stand them. They would be great if you got, you're like have a whole bunch of weight in the back of your truck. I would say over 1,500 pounds all the time. Then you maybe even 2,000 pounds, because when I would tow with them, it's still a harsh ride. Now they did keep the truck from porpoising, but it was a very harsh ride. Whereas the Progressive, the Sumo Springs are not a harsh ride with the trailer installed, with the hauling the trailer. So I really like them for that reason. It's a lot like an airbag, but it's kind of like a poor man's airbag, I guess. But they're a lot more durable, I believe. So that's my review on these Sumo Springs. Like I said, I really like them. I highly recommend them if you're towing a lot, or if you just want to raise the back end of your truck up an inch or so. At least it did it for mine. Now, I'm not going to say it does that for every truck. I don't know. The 22 model F250s are a little bit different, I think, than the 21 and earliers, I believe. From what I've understood, a little bit of difference. I don't know what the differences are, but I'm just saying this is what it did for my vehicle, because I measured beforehand, and I've measured it many times, squat and different things to see what the height of it was. Definitely raised it just a little bit over an inch. So that's my review on the Sumo Springs. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Take care. God bless.